I have a ridiculously long story I want to tell. TLDR at the bottom. I'd if this is worth typing out, but here goes. I had this guy that I was somewhat interested in a couple years ago. We had recently reconnected and wanted to hang out. The guy was supposed to come over around 4 p.m. and exchange music and chill for a couple of hours. I don't hear from him until 5-6ish that he got held up at something in Hess on his way. 7:30 rolls around and he arrives finally. Hess in a suit and tie. On a Thursday afternoon for a chill session. Okay. Moving on. We walk in the door and he immediately comments on the kitchen cabinets, saying they were incredible and nice. This was an old farmhouse rental with bowed and warped cabinets. Then he commented on the floors and how he could come over and fix them this weekend. Okay, already annoyed, so moving on, continuing the tour of the house. We get upstairs to my roommate's room and he sees his drum set. Asks, "Oh, can I play?" I said no at the same time as the roommate's GF said yes. I stare at her wide eyes, trying to send signals to her that this is awkward as heck. Hess oblivious, so he hops on and talks about how these drums are okay, but the ones he had were 5K and the kind that Metallica used. I rolls everywhere right now. Then he gets hot and takes off his suit jacket and folds it up and says it's Armani, and as he folds it he drops a money clip that he was using as a decorative attachment to the suit and says, "That's my Gucci money clip. It doesn't work anymore because I used to carry so much cash it no longer clips tightly around small bills, whatever dude, don't care." He then starts going on a rant about the Looney Tunes and Shaq advocating for toothpaste, and mid-sentence was like I forgot what I was talking about, and I was like, "Don't ask me, you aren't making sense. You think that's it, but no." I finally get him back downstairs to do our music exchange, full of regret by now. He says he needs to use the restroom. He goes and is gone for 10 minutes. I'm like, what the heck is he doing in there? So he finally comes out and says he needed to get something out of his car. This takes 5 minutes and he comes back in. Wearing a fedora. A freaking fedora. I just laugh at him and he goes, "What, you don't like it?" He then tells me that this whole time 1 to 1:30 hours his car was running because he had forgotten to shut it off. Then he says he needs to go to the bathroom again. By this point I'm frantically trying to figure out ways to bail. He comes out finally and shows me some EDM stuff I was not fond of, and while doing so he was doing some odd hand dances. Out of nowhere my friend calls me with an actual emergency in which she needed to take her daughter to the hospital and needed me to watch her other kids while she did so. I had to hide my excitement considering the circumstance she was in, but I couldn't have been more excited to get this kid out of my house. I told him I had to go because my friend has to take her daughter with Down syndrome to the ER, and he goes, "Oh, I totally get it, my brother has autism." I just move past him and hold the door open for him and say my goodbyes. What the heck, guy? When I got back from my friends, my roommates and I discussed what the heck just happened. And why he was in the bathroom so long. We even checked the toilet thinking he did an upper decker or something. A few weeks later Hess arrested for cocaine possession. 6 months later he messages me out of nowhere while I was out drinking and talks about how Hess turned a new leaf and has intentions to become a speaker for drug addiction and work with recovering addicts. Don't get me wrong, that's great and all, but not my problem, nor does drunk me care, and I just reply with, "Cool, but I'm pretty sure you did drugs in my bathroom," to which he replied, "Probably needless to say I stopped talking to that guy." TLDR, guy came over 3:30 hours late, was really high, did drugs in my bathroom and wore a fedora.